I'm fighting a life sentence. I'm fighting a life sentence for a shootout. Basically, a shootout that was rigged. That was rigged to be a capital murder case, a death penalty case. They tried to give me the death penalty based on prior convictions. The aggravating factors was I had two prior stabbings. One stabbing was I was freshly 18. I was living with my girl who was 17. She had a 2-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all the same repetitive shit in the hood. Teen moms pursue young thug boy and all that shit, or hit boy. Or I was a house party dancing boy, fighting in the street because I'm going to different neighborhoods. So I was appealing to it. We always, women like the alpha male, whatever environment, whatever social arena they're in. I was the kind of alpha male at that time. I had a little bit of dancing, a little bit of hip hop, rapping, fighting, boxing a little bit. I could do it a little bit. So a woman felt safe with me, and they felt like I had a little flavor. We called it flavor back in the day. It's called swag now. Same shit. Style. I mean, so anyway, I was with her. Her sister got in a argument with her boyfriend. They was like 30 and 25 old age to us. We was 17, 18, and I was asleep getting ready to go to work. I was working at this time. I wasn't even in the streets. I came home from the juveniles at 16 years old. And I was really chilling after I got kicked out of job. I was chilling for real. So I was working, doing prep cooking.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Albion.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
That's our Siri. Siri is an ignorant bitch in the prisons. You heard me? She just rudely interrupt the conversation. I hate this bitch. But listen, though. So, you know, I was doing my thing. I was trying to straighten up and live a good life. You know what I'm saying? I had just found out that I had a daughter. You know what I mean? So anyway, I went and stabbed the boy. He had a knife at my girl's. He had a screwdriver. He had it at her throat at a 2-year-old birthday party. They was having a birthday party for my girl's daughter. And this boy is out on the block. It's broad daylight, summertime, July 31st. I'll never forget this shit. And he got a knife at her throat, and I come down the steps with the butcher knife, the kitchen butcher knife, long joint. I said, yo, get the fuck off. He's like, pussy, you know, and all the extra tough guy shit. What you gonna do, young and all? And the boy backed up, and I jumped off the top step like a wrestler boy, and we both swung, and my hand was under his. He was swinging for my head, too. My hand was under his, and I hit him in his head, and it rolled down it didn't break his skull, but it rolled down the skin on the side of his face and broke his jaw. And, like, I guess it nicked his vein or something because he was in critical condition for, like, a couple months. But anyway, the girl got back with her boyfriend. I broke up with her sister. Court came. The police officer that found him passed out on the screwdriver, laying on the screwdriver that he had to make it a self-defense joint. Suddenly, he was on vacation during my trial, and it was my final joint to come to court. It was my final trial date. They was going to take me to trial. The DA was threatening to take me to trial. My lawyer told me, you know, I'm fresh 18. I don't know the legal system like that except for the little juvenile shit. This is adult courts. He said, man, they're going to let you walk. They're going to give you 4 years probation if you just plead guilty to aggravated assault. No more jail time. Because my mom bailed me out. She paid $5. My mom was a cop at the time. My mom told me, you know, that girl told on you as soon as you left. Because I told her when I started, I said, listen, just tell them, everybody out here, just tell them that he was beating up your sister, and a dude got off the bus. Y'all know who he is. He was Captain Sabo. He saved your sister, and he stabbed him. And they was like, all right. So I left, and I went back to South. This my mom was living in South Philly. I went back to South Philly. And as soon as I got home, my mom said, she said, who that? I said, it's me. She said, boy, that girl that told on you, call the detectives. Go ahead and tell yourself. She said it was self-defense. She said, I talked to the detectives. They said that everybody said that she was defending the girl. She said, you know, I don't mind defending you when you doing right. You was defending a woman. I'm going to bail you out. You ain't going to sit in jail. So I went on and listened to her. I should have just went on a run and let the statute of limitations run out. It wasn't no murder. After 7 years, they had to drop that shit. But I didn't know no better. I went on, put my head in the lion's mouth, went to jail. My mom bailed me out. $5,000 on a $50,000 bill. I played out 6 months later. Shit just went downhill from there. It was over from there. It was like I was in the streets. Fuck it. I lost my job. Babu bam. Being locked up for a week before I got bailed out. They ain't holding it. All a bunch of different shit. You know, all the adversity shit that make motherfuckers justify their crime. So I started justifying. So now, a couple years later, in '94, I get booked for armed robbery. I try to rob this limo driver. All because I'm coming down off of Xanax one day, and I'm driving with this girl I'm fucking with, Tanya, and this white Italian spiky haired limo driver cut me off in the lane on the highway on the expressway, and then gave me the finger. And I got so hot that I chased this motherfucker down the 31st. You talking about 34th and Walnut on right across from Chop from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I pulls up next to him on his passenger side, my driver's window next to his passenger side. He got the window rolled down, sunny day out, chilling. I slides over with my foot on my brake pedal and lean in his car, stick the pistol in his face and say, empty your fucking pockets, cracker. You want to give a nigga the like on some real stupid shit. Broad daylight, stop, you hear me? Broad daylight. This motherfucker started emptying his pocket, and he looked over at the corner of his peripheral vision, and there was a cop facing the intersection going across the way we was going. And he hit his horn. Oh, he's trying to ram me. And I looked at the cop. It's like the cop looked at me in my eyes on some movie shit. I stepped back in the car, just peeled out, and banged like 4 lefts in a row and ended up in a fucking dead-end parking lot. And I ran and stuffed the gun under a car tire, a Benz like we be doing in the hood. They wasn't hip to it up there at the time. And I stuffed it on a car tire. And they searched this parking lot stuff. Everything, dogs, everything. They had me cuffed. They had my girl cuffed. We sitting on the hood of the car, and they put me in the back of the police car. They come out, they try to threaten me, and I used to use my mom's on. My mom a cop, you better not touch me. They slammed my face on the joint. I don't give a fuck if you're my cop. Where's the fucking gun? We know you had it. I said, man, I pointed my fingers at it. He was just scared. I pointed my fingers, all types of shit. Then they found an extra clip I had in the motherfucking console. They said, okay, you got an extra clip. I told them, what's your finger? I said, yeah. Well, I took that clip from my cousin. I'm talking about off the fly. I took that clip from my cousin because I didn't want him to have no gun. You know what I'm saying? I'm really a good dude. Right? So, like, all right, so they starting to believe it. They like, maybe he didn't have a gun. I said, yeah, I really just pointed the clip. I didn't want to say the clip because I know I was going to get locked up. But I pointed the clip at him. He just automatically assumed gun because he don't know no better. You know, he a nerd, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, so it's about 3 hours we out this joint. I swear to God, about 3 hours, they still looking for this gun. They search around the corner. They looking in the craters, the veins, the veins and all that shit in the street sewers. Them motherfuckers come back, they like, man, we gotta let him go ahead. Yeah. And listen, they pulling me out the car, and I like literally watched this boy walk out of this building and walk straight to this fucking Mercedes Benz, man. And he rolled out, and you heard that shit like it echoed in the whole park, like clink clink. He pulled off in the gun store. They like, we got him, and I got locked up, and I ain't see the streets no more till 2000. So that was 94, and then when I was in the state prison, some big old husky fake ass powerlifting boy over a basketball game told me he was gonna spit in my face and rape me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna kill him. And I went and made a knife and came out the next morning and stabbed him in his eyeball. And when I stabbed him in his eyeball, all his homies rushed in with him. All the boys that was talking about jumping me the day before and all this crazy shit ran in with him, and then he came right to court and testified against me, and I pled out to a simple assault in possession of a weapon. And they used those 2 stabbings. Well, all these dudes be doing all these stabbings in the prisons and the county jail and thinking they tough, and they be stabbing niggas in the arm and just doing it just to get a reputation for stabbing. Well, I'm really like doing shit the motherfuckers supposed to be super tough because I'm really thinking they a danger to me. But these boys are just stabbing for rep. Like they like. I'm just like, yeah, I ain't gonna be in prison having nobody. I'm like I'm welterweight at the time. I'm like 147. I'm like, I ain't having nobody tell me they're gonna rape me and spit in my face. Like, you let that get away, niggas gonna take advantage of you through the whole prison. So I know this consciously, like just on some calculated, intelligible about my social arena. You can't let nobody do no shit like that. So I crushed him, like. But to me, he's a dangerous motherfucker because I'm on the block. You gotta remember, I got a 1-4 upstate. I only had I had to do 1 year and come home. I had a 1-4. But they got me on the block. This is where they fuck up in the prison system. They got me on the block with dudes doing 20 to 40s, third-degree murder, lifers. They got us all mixed in together. And that's why you're supposed to have custody levels, but they don't do that no more. They put anybody with anybody. So dudes that don't got nothing to lose is around dudes that's really trying to go home. So a lot of dudes that don't have nothing to lose, as I was one of them to do, we trying to prove ourselves, like, just because I'm going to 1-4, I ain't no pussy. You're going to take advantage of me. And then we do extreme and stupid shit to try to prove our manhood in these joints. So those 2 stabbings came back to bite me in my ass because those are the 2 things that they used to make a general homicide, a shootout, which would have been 3rd degree voluntary manslaughter and self-defense. They made it a 1st degree voluntary manslaughter, self-defense, 3rd degree. So they put all these charges on me and gave all these different options for the jury because they made it a capital case and death penalty. So they found me guilty and gave me life without parole instead of giving me the death penalty because when you get a death penalty qualified jury, they'll say, yeah, we gonna find him guilty of 1st degree, but we ain't gonna. They conscience or they guilt won't say we ain't gonna sentence him to death, but it's still death. I'm still gotta die in here. It's just that I come out 6 hours a day instead of 2 hours a day like death row inmates. So you still in prison till you die, even if you got life without parole. That's why they trying to change it. But my point is that the shit ain't, none of the shit that I did added up to being worth it. To leaving my daughter, to leaving my family, to having these fucking racist motherfuckers do what they want to us on the fly. On the whim, they come in and treat you like they want to. None of that shit added up to it. None of the shit I did, none of the accolades, none of the, oh, he go hard, none of the, oh, that's my man here. None of that shit added up to it. And there's plenty of boys out there that's working dudes, that's with their families and got their kids with them, that never did none of the violent shit I did, and they still consider men. So I had the wrong idea about what manhood was, because like you said, we ain't had nobody to really show us what manhood was except motherfuckers that was doing the same thing.
Thank you for using Secure.
Echo chamber.
Goodbye.
One.
This episode was brought to you by Money is God, the best urban crime novel in America, available at ballbossmedia.com and all other digital media purchasing platforms.